Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy. I lead the product and solutions engineering team here at TrueWatch. So as you know, TrueWatch is an observability platform, and I will be sharing a little bit about how we differentiate ourselves with our competitors, which include Datadog, Elastic, Splunk, Dynatrace, New Relic, etc., which they also do observability. Okay, so there are some nuances here and there, and I'll go into slight detail in this video. As you see here, we are one platform that connects users, apps, and cloud to insightful outcomes and actionable outcomes. So I'll delve a little bit about how we do it. So we are an end-to-end observability platform, and what do I mean by that? So if you look at this slide, at the top we're looking at enterprise business value. And by that, we mean shareholder value, and that is achieved through proxies such as increased revenue and also cost reduction. So if you look at the second row, the green or turquoise colored boxes, these are use cases. So some of these actions, for example, on the rightmost, business analysis, business analytics, those lead to the top line, driving up the top line. When we analyze the business, we know which customer group to target, which top user profile to target, how to improve the experiences of these users that lead to conversion. And when that leads to conversion, that drives up revenue. On the leftmost side of things, we're looking at code, test, deliver, run, optimize, right? So all these things, we're looking at optimization, operations, that lead to streamlining of operations to reduce costs and optimize costs. And also you can see slightly in the middle, there's security, so which leads to also protecting the business from unnecessary costs, right? So all these use cases, if you look at increasing the top line, the revenue, and also reducing the bottom line, what's in between will be translated to enterprise business value, right? So the users of this platform, we include the developers, the ops folks, security folks, and also the business and product folks. So that's on the third row, the red color bar, right? That line there. So at the bottom, we're looking at platform features, the purple color section. Those are generally, by and large, all the other tools have it. So more or less to a certain extent, right? So those are the common features on observability platforms. So I won't go much into detail about that, but just so you know that these are some of the common features and use cases and how observability tools in general, they add value to the business in one way or another. So how does one compare to the other, given that all of them have these features? So I'll go into the next section, which talks a little bit about how we compare. This is illustrative, bear in mind, across the other so-called leaders. So we're looking at a 2x2 here. So on the y-axis, we're looking at total cost of ownership, which is the cost. On the cost side, lower is better. So on the x-axis, we are looking at coverage and governance, whereby the higher is better. So to illustrate more on coverage and governance, we're looking at integration and cloud coverage, infrastructure. Governance, we're looking at more on data residency, compliance side of things, and options, deployment models. Okay. So we're split it up into 4 quadrants. So TrueWatch, we sit at the bottom right, which is the best value unified observability section. What do we mean by that? So TrueWatch, the cost is really low, total cost of ownership wise, and in terms of coverage, we cover quite a bit, like to the various clouds, including Alibaba, Tencent, and Huawei Cloud. Also, deployment models, we stand out in a way that we support private deployment, which is in the customer's own cloud platform, and also we support a SaaS model. Okay, so this leads to better compliance, be it data residency and sovereignty side of things. So the rest of the competitors, they are good in their own ways. So for example, Elastic has a breadth of features. They have search, observe, and protect. A lot of features, but at the same time, they come at a premium because of the complexity, which needs more skill sets to operate and configure. And also in terms of feature-wise, they have much more features, but then again, there are certain areas such as cloud support that they might be lacking slightly as compared to TrueWatch, right, from a governance and coverage standpoint. So Datadog stands in the middle compared to, from a TCO perspective, the top few, because AppDynamics, Splunk, and Elastic, they support private deployments, whereas Datadog currently is only SaaS only, with some features extended to Cloud-Prem in the next couple of months. So on-premise support is usually more expensive. So this explains the rest that are at the top. So TrueWatch sits in the bottom right quadrant. Okay, so I'll go a little bit into more detail on what makes us stand out compared to the other competitors. So this is a scoring chart here. So 0 on the scale on the bottom left. If you look at the maturity scale, from a maturity standpoint, we're looking at 0, none, right in the middle, to 5, best in class. So we are looking at 5 dimensions here. So at the top, let's see how TrueWatch compares to the other competitors. From a multi-cloud coverage standpoint, TrueWatch covers more clouds, Alibaba, Tencent, and Huawei, on top of the 3 clouds, which are AWS, Azure, and GCP. Next, on the right, we are looking at sovereignty and presence. TrueWatch has multi-region test nodes. The coverage is slightly more. And also, in terms of deployment models, we support SaaS across regions. So within ASEAN itself, we have nodes in Singapore and Indonesia for now, which can be easily extended to customers around the region. So it's lower latency. And if you have data residency requirement, for example, in Indonesia, we support that as well. And we also have private options on a case-by-case basis where we support a managed service to be deployed in the customer's cloud, where they can bring their own cloud, right? And the data resides within their environment. We support that model as well. Next, on the bottom right, we are looking at better value. So from our experience migrating multiple customers from competitors to TrueWatch, we are looking at about at least around a 50% TCO across these customers. So this is achieved through our advanced architecture and setup, and also right shoring our resources, which leads to a lot of cost savings on our side, and then we share it with our customers, so better value. On the bottom left, single pane of glass, we have unified analytics across teams and signals. So we support a breadth of use cases, as you have seen in the first few slides that I've shared. So we do support RAM as well, APM, infra monitoring, network monitoring, down to profiling as well. So, and also cloud billing management and security and SIEM. So we cover a lot of features. So within a single pane of glass, especially for observability use cases, users can easily and quickly correlate the information across the single pane of glass and also run AI on it. So AI is huge because everything is in single place. AI can perform their task efficiently. So we'll move on to the top left, modern architecture, which leads to better value for our customers. We use third generation architecture and database, which leverage serverless technologies. in the cloud. So in terms of storage and compute, it's elastic. So our cost is significantly lower, and all these are proprietary, especially our database, and it's built for performance and cost efficiency, right? So performance is there at a much lower cost. So these are the few dimensions that we differentiate ourselves with most of our other competitors, which offer normally better features in one way or another, but not all these together. So if you have customer groups that fall into this mode, we would have a significant advantage, right? So for example, the ideal customer profile, we are looking at customers which are using multi-cloud. For example, AWS Alibaba, they are running in regions like, let's say, Indonesia, where we have a node, so latency, data residency requirements, they are there. They are looking to cut their cost, so we offer much better value. They have multiple observability tools here and there, which we can consolidate into a single tool, which streamlines their operations and also their costs. And they are looking for performance, right? So this would fit the ideal customer profile, and we would stand out against the competitors strongly based on this group of profile, right? For observability use cases. Next, I'll go slightly in depth into comparison across the various products that I've mentioned earlier. Also, note that this is to our research, and the scenario is highlighted below, full stack observability in a footnote, and it's a certain scenario, because do note that for other use cases, the other competitors may do better, right? So this is based on observability use cases for this profile, right? So from TrueWatch perspective, on the left, you can see those are the various dimensions: deployment, observability stack, agent, learning curve, estimated TCO, and customer profile. So here's how we stand out. We are very beginner friendly. In terms of agent wise, we just have a single agent, so it's very easy to manage, right? TCO is also much lower for observability use cases compared to the rest. And in terms of customer profile, we are looking at customers with multi-cloud enterprises, because we are so-called born in the cloud, and we support a lot of cloud native deployments and integration, right? So this is where TrueWatch will stand out with the other competitors. All right, so in terms of value wise, we will provide much better value given the amount of features and use cases we support. So compared to App Dynamics by Splunk, normally the use cases are more APM driven and business analytics. So they are usually slightly steeper, but they are very strong in the business analytics side of things. So if enterprise are very particular about business transactions specifically, then App Dynamics may be the way to go for these group of people. Likewise for Splunk, mainly for security led. Datadog mainly is very close to us, but let's say customers are SaaS only, they don't need like private deployments, residency concerns and cost, then Datadog is actually a very strong platform. Elastic is more for more complex use cases where customers want to use search, security, and also observability is very powerful, right? So each product has its own unique selling proposition, right? And this is how TrueWatch stands among the rest for a specific scenario, right? So this is a quick short walkthrough on how TrueWatch stands as compared to the other products on the market, right? Right, so that's all I have for you all today. I hope this short session is insightful, and if you have any queries, feel free to reach out to our TrueWatch team, whereby we see how we can best address your questions. Okay, thank you very much.